Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, let me introduce myself. My name is Muhamad Riham Sulton, and now I want to answer Mr. Sofian's question for a midterm test, curriculum and development. So let's get started. First question is, what do you think about curriculum? So theoretically, curriculum is a set of plans and arrangements regarding the objects, content, and learning materials, as well as the method used to guidelines for the implementation of learning activities to achieve certain educational goals. So basically, curriculum is like a guidelines for teachers to tell the materials, the educational material for the student. Without the curriculum, teacher have no base for teaching, because curriculum is like a base of learning in the class. They have a method, they have a time, they have object and content, all in curriculum. The second question is, what do you think about Richard book and McAllister book? What I think from a curriculum design is the definition of curriculum design theoretically. The curriculum design is one of writing activities that can be studied as a sub-process of writing. So basically, curriculum design is how the way we find data from a field to implement and designing and the next curriculum. In the design curriculum, there are three main factors that must be met to obtain the desired data: principle, environment, and needs. The first is environment. Environmental analysis consider the situation factors that occur to determine what method or material is suitable at that moment. The second is needs. How to find out the data from the needs factor is by interviewing and conducting tests, and the result of this interview or test can be analyzed and then produce the data needs. And the third is principle. Conduct research of the use of language in learning used to be one of decision about curriculum design. So, principal factor basically is how we find the data by language in daily in the class, and then we analyze how the daily between a teacher and a student in language. What I learned from the second book, The Origin of Language Curriculum Development, is more like historical background. So the foreign language teaching is the world's largest educational enterprise, and of the million children and adults has learned the foreign language itself. So the foreign language educational is need the curriculum to accommodate so many people. So the language curriculum development is one of aspect of broader field of educational activity known as curriculum development or curriculum studies. Curriculum development focus on the determining what knowledge, skills, and evolve student in the school. The historical background of curriculum development. It starts with a notion of syllabus design. Syllabus is a specification of development, but it is not identical with it. A syllabus is a specification of a content of a course of instruction, and it is what will to be taught and tested. So, and the third question is, give your own perspective about language curriculum design. So, all the action we take must have a basis or plan and come from our analysis of something that happened. Like I said earlier, that curriculum is the base of educational or the plan of educational itself. So and like language is the world largest educational site that people learn about. So the language curriculum designing is the most important thing that we have that we have to uh, understand. We have to know about it before we jump into the field of educational language itself. So the most important thing is we have to know, we have to understand the curriculum before we teaching language. So then the fourth is how to make a curriculum. So basically, from my understanding, like what I read on the curriculum design, so we have three main factors that we should know about designing curriculum. The first is environment. So we have to know the environment of the class or the education of in that area, and then the needs, the student needs, and then the third is the principle. We have to know the principle of the school, the student, and the teachers itself. And the last question is the example of curriculum that can be implemented in our class is, from based on my opinion, the best curriculum that we can implement in the class is the curriculum that combining with technologies, because as we know today is technology is fast in growing fast. So we have to know, we have to learn, we have to understand the technologies, and then combining with educational curriculum. Accidentally, our course is foreign language, so the teacher and the student must know the other world. So the student and the teacher must know the other side of the world language by technology. So when the student asks about one example of language, the teacher can be search the example or search the question, and then the answer will be in the internet. I recommend that this thing to teacher that more easier to explain the what is it, our course, because not all teacher from a native speaker. So is one or two thing is misunderstanding, so the technology can be helped. So maybe that's it for me. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.